If you're working hard, doing what you were told, staying busy every day, but your life still feels stuck, the problem is not laziness, and it's not discipline either. The real problem is that you're moving in the wrong direction. And the dangerous part, hard work makes the wrong direction feel right. That's why some of the hardest working people you now feel exhausted, frustrated, and quietly behind. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how effort alone keeps people stuck, how society trained us to confuse motion with progress, and how to tell if your hard work is actually moving your life forward or slowly trapping you. Once you see this, you won't be able to unsee it. Most people don't feel stuck because they're failing. They feel stuck because they're doing everything right and still getting nowhere. They wake up early. They stay busy. They handle responsibilities. And at night, there's a quiet question they avoid. Why doesn't my effort show up in my life? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Hard work doesn't guarantee progress. It guarantees exhaustion. Because effort without direction doesn't move your life forward. It just makes you better at surviving where you are. This isn't your fault. You were trained to believe that staying busy means moving forward. School rewarded completion. Jobs reward availability. Society praises exhaustion. No one ever taught us to ask one dangerous question. Where is this actually leading? In a moment, I'll show you the difference between effort that compounds and effort that traps you, because they feel identical when you're inside them. That's why so many hard-working people wake up 10 years older with the same problems. First, you need to understand why the wrong direction feels so convincing. Here's the dangerous part. The wrong direction doesn't feel wrong at first. It feels responsible. It feels mature. It feels like you're doing what you're supposed to do. Wrong direction gives you movement, and movement tricks the brain into thinking progress is happening. But progress isn't movement. Progress is change, and many people are moving every day without changing anything that actually matters. That's why you can work harder this year than last year and still feel the same inside. The mind confuses effort with meaning. If something is hard, we assume it must be valuable. If something takes time, we assume it must be important. But difficulty doesn't equal direction. You can climb very fast up the wrong mountain. Busyness isn't just a habit, it's protection. When you're busy, you don't have to think. When you're busy, you don't have to decide. Silence forces reflection. Reflection forces uncomfortable truth. And uncomfortable truth forces change. So the brain chooses busyness instead. It's safer to be exhausted than to be honest. It's safer to be overwhelmed than to admit something isn't working. That's why people fill their days with tasks, but avoid the one question that matters. Is this the life I actually want to build? Busyness is socially acceptable avoidance. No one questions it. No one challenges it. And that's why it traps intelligent, hard-working people for decades. From a young age, you were trained for compliance, not clarity. You were rewarded for finishing tasks, not for questioning whether the task mattered. You learned to wait for instructions, to chase grades, to meet deadlines, but no one taught you how to design a direction. So adulthood becomes one long checklist. Wake up, work, pay, bills, repeat. People become very efficient at lives they never consciously chose. That's why so many adults feel busy but empty, productive but disconnected, capable but stuck. They learned how to execute. They were never taught how to aim. Hardworking people suffer more than lazy people because lazy people stop when something doesn't work. Hard workers double down. They add hours. They sacrifice sleep. They blame themselves. They assume the problem is effort. But effort isn't the issue. Direction is. The harder you work in the wrong direction, the harder it becomes to admit it, because admitting it means facing time already spent, energy already given, years already invested. So people keep pushing, not because it's right, but because stopping feels like failure. Progress is not being busy. Progress is alignment. Progress is leverage. Progress is compounding actions. It's fewer decisions that matter more. 1 hour spent building a high-value skill beats 10 hours of low-impact work, but real progress looks boring at first, quiet, unimpressive. And that's why most people avoid it, because it doesn't give immediate validation. No applause, no praise, just long-term change. The question is not, am I busy? The question is, if I keep doing this for 5 years, where does it lead? If the answer is unclear, that's not safety, that's danger. Clarity feels scary because it removes excuses. You can't hide behind effort anymore. You can't blame time. You have to choose, and choice is where responsibility lives, but also where freedom begins. You don't need more discipline. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions and better direction. Once direction is clear, effort stops leaking. You start moving with purpose instead of pressure. This channel isn't here to keep you busy. It exists to help you think clearly, because clarity changes everything. If you want to know why hardworking people still feel broke, I broke that down in another video. Do well to check it out.